This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Yes, I'm back on the webcam just to finish this little video off. I'm pushed for time and I thought I'd just do this as I'm waiting for my next lesson to commence. Anyway, what we're talking about today then? Well, Hammond organ, basically. I'm a sucker for it. It doesn't matter whether it's Booker T. Jones or Danny Federici in the E Street Band, or whether it's maybe John Lord in Deep Purple. Rock music especially, I think, with a nice crunchy guitar sound and a Hammond organ in the mix as well, just has it's a beautiful combination. That's why I've been using it a lot in recordings that I've done. And up till now, I've been using this little free plug-in, the Eurythmia free VST electric organ. And it gives a pretty good sound, but it's a bit laborious to put together because, you know, you've got to go into the MIDI editing, and every single note is just, you know, a separate mouse click, and it takes time basically, and it can slow down the old workflow. So I was very pleased the other day when a very kind chap called William Campbell bought me this. I didn't know he was going to be sending me this. Thank you, William. You're an absolute star. It's not a cheap piece of kit, this. It's about 160 quid, and I'm incredibly grateful that you've just decided to buy me this. I'm really, really touched. Thank you so much. This is the Electro Harmonix C9 organ machine. Basically, it's a pedal, and you plug your guitar into that side, and then out of this side comes the sound of an electric organ. So I'll tell you what, let's run through a few of the sounds that this thing produces to see if it does actually do the job of making a guitar sound like a Hammond organ. Here we go. Okay, let's start with position 1 on the dial. This is labelled tone wheel. This is pretty much just your bog standard Hammond organ. The mod and click controls, basically, they're in charge of the Leslie cabinet. So if you turn those off, you just get kind of quite a flat organ sound like this. Dial in a little bit of the Leslie, and you get something much more great for bluesy kind of stuff. Moving on to prog, the mod and click controls, what they do here, I believe that mod gives you a fifth above the note that you're playing, and click gives you an octave below. So I'll just leave those set like that, and you can hear what this kind of thing sounds like, just on a chord first of all. That kind of thing. Again, very prog. Compact. Now what this does is it gives us that Italian farfisa organ kind of sound. And at this point, I'm wishing I'd learned how to play the intro to Light My Fire, but I don't. It's that kind of sound anyway. Moving on, this is one of my favourite settings, this number 4, Shimmer. This is just beautiful for playing chords, just to add like a kind of ethereal sort of flavour to something. If I just play a few chords, you'll hear what I mean. With that slow attack, which is once again, governed by the mod and click controls. Number 5, Lord Purple. Gosh, I wonder who they're referring to here. Obviously, it's a John Lord kind of sound. Now, this is probably best going into like a heavily distorted guitar amp, which is how John Lord used to kind of dial in his organ sound. But again, let's just try it with just as it comes. Very, very usable. Now, this is another one of my favourite ones here, mellow flutes. This is very much a mellotron kind of sound, so I should really have learned the intro to Strawberry Fields here, but I haven't. I'll just kind of give it a little bit of a whiz as it is. It instantly takes you back to 1967, doesn't it? Blimp is another sound here. This is, I'm not sure what this one is actually, but here's what it sounds like. And what do these controls do on this one? Again, a perfectly usable rock organ sound. Moving on to number 8, I think this is, press tone. Now, what sort of sound are we getting here with this? I would hazard a guess and say that's something like press tone. Billy Preston. Yes, it's just dawned on me. Excuse me, I'm a bit slow on the uptake. So there we go. Let's have a listen to the last one, Telstar. I think we know how this is going to sound. See if I can remember a little bit of the melody. Dear me, that's all a bit wobbly, isn't it? Let's dial that back a bit. Again, captures that sort of what was it? The Tornadoes, wasn't it? That was basically the tone they used on that. So very usable set of sounds, really. You know, I haven't got time to go into every combination of what you can do with the mod and click buttons on every setting, but I think you've got an overall flavour of the kind of noises this rather lovely little pedal can make. And here's just a short little piece of music that I put together using the pedal to create just a nice sort of rootsy country pop rock kind of sound using a couple of the settings on the pedal. So there you go. I think it produces a very convincing Hammond organ sound, or Vox organ, or the Vox Continental or Farfisa, or whichever setting you go for. Really, it's it does the job. I recorded an album full of jazz standards, about 10 years or more ago, and I wanted it to sound like, a four-piece band, guitar, bass, keyboards and drums, just jamming. And, doing some of the Hammond organ solos on that album, it took forever. In the end, what I ended up doing was playing a guitar solo, tabbing it out in Guitar Pro, exporting that as a MIDI file from Guitar Pro, and then putting that onto the VST in, I think it was Cakewalk I was using then. A long, arduous process, basically. I'd get probably an hour. I'd probably get 2 bars of music done, like that. It was a bit of a faff around, it has to be said, whichever way you did it, either doing it in the piano roll or doing it that kind of Guitar Pro way. If I'd had one of these back then, that would have really made life so much easier. I was a bit skeptical about whether it was going to be, a usable thing, because I've used sort of these kind of things before, like sort of primitive guitar synths, and maybe other people can make them work and stuff. But I've always had a problem where, like, the technology gets confused about what note it's hearing, and kind of gives you the wrong note, or especially when you're doing sort of glissando effects where you're sliding up a string or something like that, it can really cause all kinds of glitchy, havocy sort of stuff to happen. But not with this. It does have its kind of shortcomings. It doesn't respond well to legato playing, for example, and string bends can sometimes confuse it. So you got to play a little bit more cleanly and precisely than maybe you would if you're just kind of letting rip. But that's that's to be expected. It's certainly easy to adapt to in a way that many kind of guitar synth type pedally kind of things that I've used in the past. I'm not even sure whether this is a synth, how it's achieving its outcomes, but it doesn't make big demands of you as a player. And for someone like me, who is just doing a bit of home recording and wanting the sound of a Hammond organ without having to go through all of the piano roll view, kind of clicking and editing and all of that sort of stuff, every note begins life as a separate mouse click. If you can just pick up your guitar and play something and it's there, then I'm totally on board with that. So there you go. That is the Electro Harmonix C9 organ machine. Thank you, William. You are an absolute scholar and a gentleman. I'm just blown away by your generosity, mate. Thank you so much. And that's pretty much it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative. And if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? And I'll just take this opportunity to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.